Yo, what is up, guys? Here with round two, baby, of last week's locals. So, as we left off in the last one, I'm a little tilted. All right. Well, actually, I was tilted from that match for sure, but I did accept that that's just a loss, and you gotta move past those, and I did that. So I tried to kind of chill back out, come back in round two, baby, and just be fine, whatever. We're playing against Ritual Beasts. We win the die roll. So everything's going in the right, the right department so far. No draw face, standby face, shifter. Oh yes, baby, there we go. But yeah, and then it just kind of goes downhill from here. So we're gonna see. I get a little tilted. I mess up. And that's what these first rounds were. So unfortunate, but it's how it happens. So I think we have like Ash. I think it's like Ash, Schiff, Pike, Prince, and another card. I can't remember what it was. So I get in these predicaments where, so the only playable card right now in my hand is Prince. I know that. I have no extenders. And when you have no extenders, I don't know exactly how I want to be playing this out. So the dilemma I'm in is if he decides to imperm my Prince, then I don't think there's anything. Well, that's not true. If he imperms my Prince, sending Squad is the right play as cost. Because then on the new chain link, I can go summon Pike from deck, Pike can discard a card, add Shrine, and still get to Shrine that way. Now the other circumstance is, well, yeah, that's just probably right. Well, maybe, I don't know. So I would think that the right line is to go Prince, send Squad, add Shrine. So you play around roll, and then if they were to interrupt your Prince, you still have the Squad for follow up. Now, the only issue is you lose out on Dragoons. Dragoons is nowhere in sight of that combo line. And when you lose out on Dragoons, you basically see the board I have to come up with. So this is the normal way I would play around hand traps was, so he was holding an imperm, and he didn't know whether to use it or not. If I add Dragoons here, and he imperms, then the Squad goes off, I still get to Shrine, and that's all great. But if I add Dragoons and then he ashes my Squad, then I'm not playing so well. So I add Shrine, Squad still summons Pike from deck. Maybe that is actually the line. Now that I'm looking at it, it also makes our Deep Sea King a lot better. That yeah, actually I probably just special Dragoons off the Squad. That way I get Dragoons from rotation. I already have the Shrine, so the Pike isn't doing anything for me. And so then I can just go Shrine, Tribute, probably the Prince on my field. And then summon back Squad, summon, and then summon Deep Sea King from my deck. And that's probably the way to go here. Now, if there's an extender involved, it's not just normal Prince. You can definitely minstrel here before you go into the deep sea cards. Even with Pike as well. That is a cool thing about Pike here. So then maybe what you'd actually have to do is if you had Prince Dragoons on field, then maybe you actually have to go Shrine, pitch the Dragoons on field, summon Deep Sea King, Dragoons, adds Minstrel, pitch a water, look at their hand, and then discard the last card in your hand, and then Deep Sea King. Which, that's not so bad. You're still missing out on Moulin Glacia there. So, yeah, just normal Prince is it's really good, for sure. There's just a lot of routes you can take. I don't know which one is the safest. Alright, yeah, so we're going on tangents here. So we summon Pike off the Squad, and Pike discards, I think it was Perulia, or that was Schiff. I was basically adding Minstrel, and then Minstrel was pitching Perulia to look at his hand. Now, I didn't realize yet. So here is where actually I realized that, oh, I did not get Dragoon's rotation. This is a problem. That's not good. And now I'm feeling not like stuck, just like having to rethink how I want to go about things here. Like, do I want to do a Gaios play? Can I still do a double rank 4? Now, I think the double rank 4 was actually still possible here. Another issue here with summoning Pike off the Squad was that I already opened 2 fish targets, which is unfortunate, and just means that, So as I'm looking at this right now, I guess you still get the value out of all the Pikes, Because so I summon Minstrel here instead of Shift because the Minstrel can try Mill Dragoons for me. Sometimes Minstrel hits, sometimes Minstrel never hits. And this is an instance where we don't. And as a card I like to put back, if if I have 3 of any of my Atlanteans, I'll put one of them back. But if not, if I have the gun in there, I'll definitely try and put the gun back. Just offers like nice big extending plays later in the game. And yeah, so now we use Shift and Squad to make Porpoise. We get a rank 4 play here. Now, the only thing I don't know, and here's where I thought I messed up again, was I feel like I could have got to Triana. I feel like I could have got to Triana and summoned another totally awesome, but maybe not. Maybe not. Now that I'm looking at it now. In the moment, that definitely frustrated me, thinking I couldn't do that. And this board isn't horrible. With Ash in hand, I have an Omni Negate and I have a Banish, and he can't target any of my cards. So that's definitely not bad here. It's just, it's just not. I feel like the deck could have gone further here, and I think I went down the wrong line. I think I need to like spend some more time on fleshing out what my combos actually look like, to play around as many hand traps as possible. Like I think in that Prince dilemma, because because if you send Dragoons, and they negate your add to add Shrine, then then your Dragoons can add whatever it wants. It doesn't do anything if you don't have an extender. So if you have an extender, Dragoons is fine because you just add Squad and then you get to Pike that way. But then if you send Squad, but then in this instance you send Squad to add Shrine, you now lose your Dragoons access. But I still think that's probably correct. I still think you probably have to send Squad, add Shrine, summon Dragoons off of the squad. That's most likely the way you have to go. So at this point, he said he also messed up a few times. He was upset with himself for not impriming the Prince. And we were also both kind of tilted here, so I am 100% tilted here. I'm mad at the end board I put up, and I felt like I messed up twice during that combo. Like I wasn't seeing things. And then my buddy here, he also was like coming off of a rough night, so he wasn't like into either. This is all like background, context as we're talking throughout the game. But yeah, so he's just doing some fusion nonsense. No shifter. This deck does not do a great time without shifter. And so yeah, so he's about to enter battle phase here, and that's when I go for the Ash Cam play, and I'm attempting to target the fusion and just banish it. And then I believe he wants to chain that fusion to tag out. I don't remember what it tags out. I think it tag out into an extra deck monster. I don't remember. But I do know that his little guys cannot see summon back to the field. And because they can't be summoned back, I'm okay with negating this fusion's effect to it tributes itself to summon. I'm pretty sure it summons an extra deck monster. So I negate that. I take it. He has this guy, and he can't tag out. So all he has is a 26 body that, he can crash him a Bahamut if he wants to, which is probably the right play based on the cards he has. Honestly, that would probably would have been the right play. Just crash, because he also drew Book of Eclipse for turn, which is also crazy. Like you could have activated Book of Eclipse, and I would have totally awesomed it, but then I still lose the totally awesome. I don't know. I think that was another frustrating part of this game was, I felt like I actually maybe should have lost this game if it's like played out correctly. Hard to say. I mean, and correctly is somewhat subjective. Like, do you imperm the Prince or do you hold it for your turn, depending on what he does? He also has the imperm, so he can't just technically imperm the totally awesome, and then he can imperm totally awesome, and I don't know what I would even do there. So he has imperm Book of Eclipse set, and I shotgun for turn my Bahamut, and he doesn't imperm it. He doesn't Book of Moon or Book of Eclipse or anything, and so then I normal Prince, and I go to activate Prince effect, and he chains imperm on it, and I knew he had the imperm too. I even told him right after I activated Totem, like, you can imperm this. And he's just like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm not in it. And it happens. It happens to the best of us. It happened to me in the game prior, in the match prior. But yeah, so we're just going through here, and at this point, I didn't. Obviously, I don't care about negating the imperm on the prince. The prince is really doing nothing. It's just giving me a card advantage. His last card is Book of Eclipse, and he just tells me it's over, isn't it? I'm like, I mean, yeah, if you don't have an interruption. And he's like, yeah, I have Book of Eclipse, and I'm like, yeah, that's a wrap. So that's a wrap for that game. Now, after seeing the Book of Eclipse, I was just like, wow, I really did feel like I could have lost that game, or maybe even should have lost that game. I don't know, hard to say. The water, when I can't go like full combo, the one cool thing is that the grind game's not bad, because it's just like, that board I put up didn't use a whole lot of my resources, at least main deck wise. Extra deck a little bit, main deck not too much. But yeah, so that was a tough game one. But after this game one, we were kind of talking amongst each other, and I was just like, you know what? And this is definitely because I won 100%. I had to get out of my tilt, and I did get out of my tilt, and I was just like, okay, we just need to take a deep breath and we just need to come back into this game and just relax, because we were both like getting mad at each other, or not mad at each other, mad at ourselves, just tilted and so I was finally able to like get back into things after that game. It was enough, a lot of clumsiness right there. That was tough. I was very heated. So, yeah, so he goes first, and I open Pike, Megalo, Prulia, what was it? Impulse and Lancia. So pretty disgusting hand versus his deck. Now this is the second time I Prulia this guy, and I normal. I add, which is awesome, top deck. Shrine top deck. That's crazy. Oh, he's like, actually, I want to Ash the Prulia, and I'm like, yeah, dude, of course. And honestly, and even in the last game, I probably should have let him. I probably should have done a couple more tape backs with him with that impermanent eclipse shenanigans, because I think when I watch back these games, when these plays happen, it's one thing for like in the first match, like the Salad player could have interacted with my deck better at certain choke points, but he didn't. But he chose to not do that, and so that was a game where I felt like, technical play had some type of factor, whether it was bluffing or knowledge or whatever. Technical play had a factor there. Here, it just kind of felt like I have this play and I'm just not in it, and I'm forgetting things, and you're just out of your head, and that's important at a regional for sure. But at locals, I don't really care about that right now. Right now, I'm not trying to win that way. I really want to see that my deck or my technical play is just better than yours, and like in these with the current hands that we have or whatever. And so I feel like not like going back a couple steps, letting him imperm the Bahamut, letting him book eclipse my board. All those things probably should have happened, so we could have had a legitimate gameplay out rather than what that was. So that was something that I should have done better. I should have let him do some takesy backsies there, because what's the point of having like a half-ass game where someone's messing up a little bit and they're getting nervous and they're getting in their head because they're messing up. It's just like, it snowballs. At least for me it does. But okay, enough rambling. Back into this. So I let him take back on the Perulia. He can ash it. And then he said he normal summons his second body, and I drop the Lancia here, and he's just like, well, that's tough. A little night pass. And I'm like, that's what I like to hear, baby. Little night pass. And it doesn't really change how I would have done the exact same plays. And yeah, I put the Shrine back on my deck because that was the card I was going to draw for turn. There's no point in me changing that, and nothing changed because I saw the card. So I don't feel bad about that. But here, we're just deciding how we want to go about this. We have a limited card count, and if he has an interruption, we're not looking great. He actually did signal he had no more interruptions, which he shouldn't do. He shouldn't tell me that he used his only interruption on my Prulia. But that would not change how I play this out. Because in the worst case, he negates the Pike, and then I attribute the Pike with Shrine, and I discard the Impulse to start playing. But with being able to get the squad to hand from the Pike, now I have just everything. Now it's just Deep Sea King right away with targeting protection, with Prince summon from squad. So it's like, I don't remember what I go here, but if it's Minstrel, that's just disgusting. Oh, I'm just like making sure, and just going over the fact that he can't target my deep seeking with, um, with the Little Knight because Squad app happens on a separate chain link, and he was debating activating Little Knight there. I'm just like, like, yeah, you can't hit the deep seeking. It's kind of messed up that he has that. Like, why is that targeting protection there? That is crazy. We want to abuse that as much as possible. But yeah, so when we got the Prince, and now he's really showing he doesn't have any interruptions, and it just feels it's just overwhelming from here. I mean, Little Knight isn't doing anything. Little Knight's actually not very good into water, crazy enough, because Little Knight doesn't hit anything on time. It's late for every one of our interactions. Kind of like Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre feels just very late. Um, but yeah, so he activates Little Knight. I think on I send infantry, so I force out the Little Knight, and then so he banishes Little Knight and Pike, which either one of those. Honestly, Pike was probably the better target. It's just one less four I have to play with. But I still have the double Pike here, so it honestly probably never really mattered to begin with. I mean, this is just oppressive, and wow. And then I have the Dragoons in my hand, and I'm definitely don't need to be playing this out as much as possible, but I can't. I'm not good at just like I have a line that I'm going on, and I'm not very good at just like diverting and just going for lethal. Like I need to just flush out my line. Like my line includes lethal and follow up and protection, and just in case you interrupt me, I have cards that keep playing, stuff like that. So, but that was the match. So definitely a weird match. I think it's maybe good to see these matches where human aspects kind of come in. The first match that I had against Salad, and this one for sure, where I'm just like, I'm coming in and out of matches tilted, and after that first game, I audibly said out loud, like, we just need to just take a deep breath, and I did that, and I kind of let myself chill out and put the games behind me, and it did help a lot. I felt like my brain was starting to clear up a little bit, and I was starting to chill out. But yeah, so we got a couple short matches here up until my last round. But so let's get to the next one. Let's dish out a couple here. Later, guys. Peace.